So you guys, you're never gonna believe what happened the other day. Okay, so the other day, like, the worst thing happened. Not the worst thing imaginable, but a pretty bad thing happened, and I was pretty distraught over it for a day or two. My rudder completely fell off of my boat. It sunk down to the very bottom of the ocean, and it's stuck like a tombstone in the sand, about 25 feet down. I had to go rescue it. So I think what happened was we went through the blow of the century. My friend came to visit, and his name is Bad Luck Ray. Anytime I see him, something terrible happens, and this time was no different. We came home. The rudder was not on the back of the boat. I think somebody dropped a crab trap pretty close to it, and it may have ripped it off because, like, the very next day on my prop shaft, around my prop, there was a crab trap wrapped around it, and then the crab trap rope had wrapped around my anchor chain, so it was a really tight pull, and it was actually holding us completely against the wind. And about a 25-mile-an-hour wind, we were holding in the opposite direction from this damn crab trap. So that really sucked. My rudder came off, but the good news is we got the tools to fix it. We have the engineering. I think we're going to be able to get her painted up, get her fixed, and it's going to be better. And we're actually going to end up being happy that this happened in Key West instead of, you know, somewhere else in the world where parts and things like that are harder to come by. So follow us on this little trip that we're going to go down. We're going to paint it, we're going to fix it, and you're going to be with us every step of the way. So this is going to probably be one of the bigger projects that I've done to date on this boat. It's going to be pretty hard. People usually pull the boat out of the water to do things like this. I don't really have that luxury right now. I'm going to come up with a crazy scheme. Reading that I've done on the internet, a little noggin and some redneck ingenuity. I think we can get it done. It's gonna be tough. I think this thing weighs about at least 200 pounds, and it does not float. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this thing to work. I have these 4 little bolts that I'm gonna have to line up under the water. Hopefully it's calm, and you know, pray for me, send me good vibes, and we're gonna see if it works. So first things first, we got to get all this old paint off so that we can get the new paint on, and it's going to hold, and we're going to make it better than before. Tools of the trade for this particular job thus far has been the scraper, the wire brush that knocked off a lot of the loose stuff and keeps filing it down, this steel stick. It's like a steel reinforcement and epoxy. It's good for filling in like little pits, little things like that where I don't know, the elements have worn away pieces of the rudder because it is made out of steel. So we're filling that, we're filling in all the pits, we are making it smooth so that it's going to last the rest of this boat's lifetime, and hopefully we don't have to do this again for a little while. Yeah, we have the anti-fouling paint that we got from West Marine this morning. We're going to paint it up, we're going to put as many layers as we can with 1 quart, and then hopefully it's going to last forever and we're never going to have to play this game again.
Just to let you guys know also, which we learned recently, which I don't know why we didn't know, but at West Marine you can actually price match. So the paint that we got is actually $99 and we got it for $70. So it's a good tip.
All right, so I still have a couple little cracks, little holes, little pits to fill in my rudder. So I'm using this JB Weld steel stick. Probably not the best thing on earth to use. I wish I was welding it instead, but I think that this will work. So hopefully this keeps the water out, keeps it all locked up, and everything goes according to plan. Now see how this stuff works is the gray stuff mixes in with the black stuff. You just kind of knead it for a while, and once it's all good and mixed and it's one solid color, then you're ready to go, and you got a little bit of time till it cures. I'm trying to shove it as deep down in that crack as I can get it to get maximum coverage inside and grip. The stuff cures like a rock, so I think it should work pretty good.
It's like Play-Doh, right?
Yeah, it's like super Play-Doh. All right, ladies and gents, so as you can see over here, I got my first coat of paint on. I'm gonna wait for that to dry overnight, then do a little more prepping. So we have 20 minutes worth of sunlight. I'm gonna grab these bad boys, jump in the water, and go get some dinner.
All right, it's day 2. We're gonna do a second coat of paint and keep working. Shh. Matt's singing and he can't hear us with his headphones in. Let's see if we can get him. Dang it.
Okay, so today we've been working on the rudder all day. Hundreds and hundreds of layers of paint. As you can see, I have paint all over me. The jet skiers are ripping and riding today hard, so my boat's rocking all over the place. It's a pain in my ass, but we're getting there. It's a little humid as well, so the paint's not drying as fast as I would like. It looks like there's definitely going to be a day 3 of the rudder repair. But it's supposed to be calm tomorrow. The winds are supposed to be favorable. I think early in the morning is going to be the spot. All right, here we are on day 3. As you can probably see, the boat's a mess. We got all our tools out. Tools are everywhere. But the water is calm. I think this is the moment of truth, the time to do it. This is going to be our best shot at getting this rudder back on. See here, what my plan is I have this big float that we found. A big bumper that I think I can taco onto the rudder, tie it up, lash everything together, pump it up, and that's going to give it some buoyancy, and then we'll be able to guide it in with ropes, and I think we'll be able to get her in there.
So we tied some extra ropes on to keep the bumper secure.
Alright, so we got to hook this rope up so we can lower it down a little more controlled. As you can see, these boats coming around, it's going to be Sunday. It's going to be a big fishing day, a big jet skiing day, so I tried to get out here early. It would have made it a lot easier for me to do it, but it's gonna be a pain in the ass now. This place will be fully chopped out in like 10 minutes, so hopefully I can still be safe and get it on there. We'll see. Alright, so we got the rudder in the water. The good news is it is floating, so it's going to be adjusting that valve to get the buoyancy correct. At least we got that going. So we're going to be in there pretty quick, trying to get this bad boy in there. Alright guys, so a little chilly out here. Not without much duress and arguments and fighting, but we got the bolts in, we fed it in. It didn't work as easily as I thought it would, but I think it did work. We have to go get some bolts that are a little bit different size, but I think the hard part's over. It's all aligned, and I think it's going to work out well. So stay tuned for the final project. Okay, so the project is done. It's finished. Didn't come out perfect. Paint job came out a little scratch getting it off, and one of the bolts is a little bit looser than I would want it to be. Some of the stuff you can see, I'm sure as you can see here, there's a lot of waves going around me. All my jet skiing friends, and the weather turned a little bit bad. Key West gave me some pretty good weather for most of this, but with all the chop and jet skis and boats going by, it did get a little bit crazy, but still got all my fingers and toes. I think we're gonna be fine. I'll give you one last look at the final project.
So guys, we did it. We put it on without taking the boat out.
The rudder is back on. Mission accomplished. Couple of tips. If you end up doing something like this yourself, give the paint plenty of time to dry. I rushed the paint job and it cost me. I'm sure as you could see in a few of those underwater shots, a couple of paint chips and things like that happened. Not happy about that.
He rested it on a pillow, and then when we tried to move it, the pillow was stuck.
And I had a full-blown mental breakdown about it.
Yeah, because that paint's not cheap.
The paint was not cheap, nor was it easy to drag that thing all over the deck. I got paint all over me. I had to take like 5 gasoline baths to get that stuff off. It was terrible. It sucked. And then for the end product to come out, a B- was a hard pill to swallow.
But the main thing is we got it back on.
We did get it back on.
And we do understand that our boat's really dirty. We need to...
Yes.
He needs
warning,
to clean it.
The bottom job. All right. Not warning. Just disclaimer. The bottom job, you know, it hasn't had one in 2 years. We're due for one. And you can tell. I have an entire ecosystem under this boat. But yeah, fix the... give the paint plenty of time to dry. Get the right size bolts. The first set of bolts I got were about an inch too long, so they didn't fit. I couldn't turn. The whole apparatus wouldn't turn under the boat. So I had to go get shorter ones, the right size ones, and it was a pain in the ass wrestling with that thing underwater.
What kind of bolts did you get?
Stainless steel, 3/8 bolts. Just the stainless steel ones, regular old. We had the Stay-Lock nut on it, or the Stay-Lock twisty thing, as my associate here was saying when she was trying to figure out what tools to give me. And then also too, pay attention to the current. What the current's doing if you have to do this underwater, because as you could see at first, when I first got in the water, the current was ripping and it was a pain in the ass wrestling with that thing underwater. But the main thing, the main moral of the story is believe in yourself, believe in your own ideas, and never quit, and you can get anything accomplished.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about believe in yourself? Are you telling the viewers don't believe in yourself?
Yeah, but whatever. Anyways.
She's a mean person.
So hopefully that helps somebody out there to save some money and not bring their boat out. But I guess your redneck ingenuity worked.
It did work. It was a little tough there. It was a rough going, but there was really I had no other choice. We weren't hauling it out. I had to get it in there, you know. Took a little gumption, but we got it done.
Alright guys, hopefully that helps some of you out there save a little bit of money instead of bringing the boat out on the hard. And like, subscribe, and comment down below, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See you next week. Bye.